Welcome back. Our next guest is one of the biggest names in comic book history. He's the creator of some of the most popular names in superhero comics, and is the creator of the basis of virtual plethora of big budget movies and television series. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stan the Man Lee. Stan, thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for saying yes to our producers when they called you.
Well, there's not much I have left to do anymore.
So, we've noticed, thank you. So you've been in the comic book industry for almost 70 years now. You were first published in 1941, is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. My first story, a text story, it wasn't a comic, there were no pictures back then, was published in one of our books way back in the golden age when I was a budding lad of only 19.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So you're considered a legend in the business. You created some of the most popular comics in history. So let's talk about some of those.
Great, let's do it.
Batman. How'd you come up with that idea?
Well, that's an interesting story. Wait, did you say Batman?
Yes. The Dark Knight was one of the biggest movies in 2008. Christopher Nolan's working on the third and final installment of the franchise, which began with Batman Begins. So let's hear a little bit about how you came up with that character.
I didn't create Batman.
Oh, you didn't. Sorry. That's embarrassing.
Don't worry about it. Actually, Batman was created by a very good friend of mine, Bob Kane.
Oh. Yeah, wonderful. So, moving on, Zack Snyder. You're working on a new Superman movie for Warner Brothers. Let's talk about how you created Superman. When did that happen?
Actually, I didn't do Superman either. He was created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster.
Alright, let's move away from the characters for a moment. Your legacy in comic books goes beyond your characters you've created. You're the first writer ever challenged the Comics Code, which was a self-regulating censorship program the companies put in place in the 50s to answer accusations of corruption of the youth.
Right, well, the whole thing came from a man named Frederick Wortham, who wrote a book called Seduction of the Innocent. And in this book, he accused everything, including comic books, of corrupting the youth of America. So the major companies came together and we decided to regulate themselves so they wouldn't be completely shut down by the government. And one of the biggest things was drug abuse. The Comics Code didn't feel that drug use should be depicted in comics, and for good reason. But I was actually asked by the President of the United States to write an anti-drug story, and the code wasn't going to allow it to be published. So we just took their approval symbol off the book and published it anyway.
And that was now the famous Green Arrow story where Green Arrow's psychic Speedy was shown to be a heroin junkie.
No, that story was written by Dennis O'Neil. I think the problem here is that you're focusing on DC comic characters. I worked for Marvel.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Apparently my assistant needs to be fired.
Oh, that's alright. They do a lot of good work over there, too.
Okay, so you work for Marvel Comics. You worked on Wolverine. When did you create Wolverine?
I didn't create Wolverine either. That was Len Wein. But I was publisher at Marvel when Len came up with that character.
Alright, Blade?
Nope, that was Marv Wolfman.
Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider was originally created by Roy Thomas as a cowboy character. The more popular relaunch character, the character Nicolas Cage played in the film, was created by Gary Friedrich, with Roy Thomas as the editor.
Oh, okay, I got one. You created Captain America, right?
No, Cap was created by Jack Kirby and Joe Simon, but I brought Cap back after he'd been cancelled when World War II ended.
Yeah, okay, big deal. What have you done? I just listed off some of the biggest names and characters and stories in comics, and you didn't create any of them. What did you create?
I created Spider-Man!
Spider-Man? Did you just make that up? Are you screwing with me?
No, I really created Spider-Man!
What the hell is a Spider-Man? No one's ever heard of that. It's nonsense.
What are you talking about? Spider-Man's had 3 movies. He was played by Tobey Maguire.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Tobey Maguire movies? I mean, the Cider House Rules? Come on, who's seen those? What else you got?
I created the X-Men.
You said you didn't make Wolverine.
No, that was Len's contribution later on, but I created the original idea and some of the characters.
Okay, well, does that mean like Storm and Nightcrawler?
No, those are also Len's characters. My original work was rejected, but then Len recreated the idea in the 70s and got it popular again.
Okay, so you created a sucky X-Men team, and your book got canceled. And this other guy made it, and made it cool again, so he sold it. Okay, got it. What else?
I created Iron Man. I created the Incredible Hulk. I created Daredevil.
Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Daredevil? Okay, now you're definitely screwing with me. And I find this really insulting. This interview is over. Security!
Wait a minute, you can't do this to me. I'm
Alright,
Stan
come on, Mr.
Lee.
Crazy
I created Spider-Man. Excelsior!
I do apologize to our audience for the fiasco you've just seen. I don't know who's responsible for booking this no talent to our show, but I assure you, someone's going to get fired. Up next, he played one of the characters in the comic book movie. After the commercial, we're going to be joined by Chris Hemsworth, who's in the new movie Thor. I wish we could get that guy who created that comic book. And that'll be after the commercial, so stay tuned.